Good evening, everyone. My name is Tanish Kalyan, and I am the youth representative from the MGCY, the major group of children and youth at India. I'm honored to be joined here by delegates from different think tanks, NGOs, and member states at the ECOSOC Youth Forum 2025. Today, I want to talk about the Sustainable Development Goal number 8, decent work and economic growth. The eighth goal promotes sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth with full and productive employment for all. However, I want to ask everyone, what is decent work and what is economic growth? For one, decent work may be something that pays their bills. For another, it means something that gives them a more fulfilled life. And for someone, economic growth will be about numbers, while for someone, it will be about human development. However, for me, this concept is well summed up by this one quote by His Excellency Mr. Bob Ray, the President of the ECOSOC, and I quote: "We're reminded that work is not a commodity, it's a source of personal dignity, family stability, and peaceful societies, as well as prosperous societies. It is a key pillar of strong social partnerships. But we can all agree that the future of work, just like the future of our economies, the future of the natural world, and the future of our societies is not predetermined." Unquote. As of 2025, living in a developed city like London, I can resonate with this thought just like my friends. I can see uncertainties over the job market with high interest student loans, record inflation, and questions over a degree providing the skills necessary for a job or depleting standards of life. This points to worrying trends in the world, like unemployment figures for the global youth standing at about 12.6% according to recent estimates of the 2025 by OECD. However, our aim is not to just bridge this gap in youth unemployment, but to also ensure that the necessary education is imparted to close it. This can only happen when education is free for all. It's a privilege, it's a right, not just a privilege. And that will have to be coordinated with creating jobs, eradicating forced labor, and having fair working conditions for all. Child labor should not exist as a norm, which has been the case for so many years. However, under the 10 goals that were there under the eighth target, which is decent work and economic growth, I want to talk about few select issues that really should form the core of how we're going to achieve this mission. Starting off with informal sector employment. In many countries, a significant portion of young workers are engaged in life threatening professions like working in chemical factories. These do not ensure any legal security in the future and lead to vicious cycles of poverty and underemployment. One of the reasons behind this is simply the lack of education and training from poor families, and that comes from lack of underfunded facilities in different parts of the world. Therefore, I want to say that education and vocational training is the key to learning more about how academic learning and industry demands can be put together and how this lack of hands on experience can be closed. The digital access is also another crucial factor which should be taken care of to meet modern industry demands. Even today, in most low income countries, only 27% of the population has access to internet, while that figure stands at 93% in most of the global north countries. Therefore, our economy should not only be about creating better AI or about better GDP figures, but should also be people centric to give them the skills that are required for them to lead a more respected and dignified life. But with respect and dignity, we should not evade the idea of gender pay gap, even the pay gap that occurs due to one being disabled or coming from a marginalized group. In 2024 alone, the uncontrolled gender pay gap lied at about 0.83%, which means that every woman was earning 0.83 per dollar for the man who was working at that same point. Therefore, we should have a global employment strategy, not just a global youth employment strategy, a global employment strategy which involves cooperation between different intergovernmental organizations and agencies. This can help to ensure that the world functions like a family, just like the SDGs are a family. SDG8, which is decent work and economic growth, along with SDG4, which is impacted by it, that is quality education, and gender equality, which comes under SDG5, and most importantly, SDG9, which talks about industry, innovation, and technology. I'm sure that this forum will set the stone for what lies next in this field. Thank you.